Welcome to MLG. This is day 3. I am here with Kevin QXC, and you might have heard of him. And with that, we'll go ahead and kick it off. So QXC, you are kind of known as one of the players who really sort of thinks about the way that you play and the way that you learn and the way that you train. And that's sort of a fascinating topic to a lot of people. And you're in the Complexity Team House, and I actually got feedback from Rise that like you're the person he goes to when he wants like help kind of doing that sort of stuff. So talk to me a little bit about sort of the training methodologies and practice schedules that you guys hold in the Complexity House.
We do 4 hours a day, 4 days a week that's like scheduled practice where we all play together.
Okay.
We bring some people in from other races from outside of the house so that we get that, because we only have one Protoss and we have 2 Terrans.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, usually after that, we'll all take a break for a little bit. Sometimes we'll play a little longer, it depends on the day. And then we kind of practice on our own in the afternoon and night. Sometimes we'll play tournaments, things like that.
So then 3 days off? So 4 days on, 3 days
It's not
off?
like off. It's just not this specific type of practice. Like nobody takes 3 days off. Barely anybody even takes a day off.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, this is this time where we're all together, we're all playing these games, we're all playing on MLG maps or whatever the maps are for the tournament. And then besides that, people are working on things that they think they need to focus on.
And is that something that like collaboratively as a group, you guys talk about, hey, I've noticed this in your play is a little bit weak, or is this, is that something that's more of a self-evaluation? Each player does it, they're on their own?
It depends. Like, when I'm playing with a teammate, sometimes I ask them for advice after the games, but obviously if I'm not, then most of the time I'm thinking of solutions and things on my own. And that seems to be a pretty big part of it, is just spending time thinking and analyzing and coming up with things. You only learn so much by just playing games.
Right. Understood. All right. That's kind of an interesting take. So it's like it's less of a structured practice time than some other teams take.
Yeah.
But you spend a lot of time outside. I mean, how much time personally would you say that you spend those 4 hours, right, in concentrated practice on certain maps, certain matchups? How much time do you spend outside of that doing things like watching replays of your own or of others and sort of trying to break down and analyze?
I probably spend between 8 and 12 hours a day doing things that are StarCraft related.
Okay.
But a lot of that, it just depends on the day. Some days I really feel like I need to play, and some days I really feel like I need to watch and I need to think. So
okay. And I mean, after being in the house, going in, what would you say? What areas of your play would you say have increased the most from where you were to where you are now?
I think the biggest thing that's improved is my macro.
Okay.
Timings on when to add production buildings, staying on top of my supply depots. That's kind of classically been one of my biggest weaknesses, and it's definitely improved quite a bit.
And the micro, do you still pivot from the shoulder when you mouse? I haven't seen you play in a while.
I was having wrist problems, which became very apparent to me at the last MLG, and I thought part of the problem was because I played on very low sensitivity, which was kind of like a remnant of when I played Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of CS players.
So since then, I've raised my sensitivity by probably 200 or 300%.
Wow.
My wrist problems have basically gone away, which is really nice.
That's great.
But so now I use more of my
small
motions.
Small motions.
Yeah.
I remember. I think a LAN that we played each other at a long, long time ago, in our Fullerton. I remember.
Yeah. When you play on
super low
sensitivity, you're really using your whole arm to get the mouse around.
Yeah, I do remember that. All right. Any sort of words of advice for people who might be trying to like build their own practice regimen you'd put out there?
Obviously, you have to play. Maybe not so obviously, you have to think. And you also need to watch replays. And you also need to spend time doing things that aren't StarCraft. But if I knew the exact balance and what was ideal, I would probably be a lot better right now. So it's something that I'm working on and changes from person to person and from day to day.
All right.
There's no way to predict that 3 or 4 hours of practice will make you a certain amount of tired, because you never know what kind of games you're going to play.
Right.
Sometimes you end up ending the practice feeling kind of dissatisfied because maybe you didn't play the best games, or the games didn't really focus on your weak points. But the way to get better is to fix your weaknesses. So whenever you're playing and practicing, you always want to think like, what did I do wrong last game? What do I generally do wrong in this matchup? And actively try and fix it. Don't just keep playing games doing the same failed strategy and hoping that it will work. What I think a lot of people fall into is they get to a point where they're not actually learning while they're playing. And so instead of taking a break and really thinking about it, they just keep playing and keep hoping that they'll end up winning anyway. Like this, obviously, there's slight random variance whenever you're playing. You'll play a little bit better or a little bit worse.
Yeah.
And winning and losing based on random variance without actually increasing your base skill level is a good way to not get better. So if you can just look at your games and think, have I actually made significant progress? Am I actually changing something? That will hopefully put you in a better direction.
All right. Some good words out there for people who are kind of struggling to find that balance in practice. And so I have a slightly more personal question. What do you do outside of playing StarCraft? Because you mentioned you got to do stuff that's not StarCraft.
Right now, not a whole lot. Sometimes I go run. We recently bought a basketball. We have a hoop at the house. So we
Playing some horse?
Yeah, horse, pig. I'm going to try and get the guy. We played 2v2 the other day, which was pretty fun. Try and get some of the guys to play me 1v1. See if that happens.
Is everyone scared?
They will be. They might not be yet, but they will be.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to stop by the house, play some horse with you.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
You have any shout-outs you'd like to make, Kevin?
Yeah. Shout out to Complexity Gaming, sending me here, making that possible. Big shout out to Gamma Labs for making the house possible, and our other sponsors, PNY, Sound Blaster, Creative, G8, and Origin.
Good stuff.
Thanks to all my fans for supporting me. Check me out on Twitter, Cole_QXC, QXC on Facebook, ColeQXC on Twitch. And if you're interested in matches, shows, whatever I'm going to be in, I'll always tweet about that. So check me out there. I'll probably be on State of the Game in another week or so.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's good.
And we'll see. Are you going to be at IPL 5?
No, I'm the WCG USA representative, which is the same weekend, so I'll be in China.
Right. Good luck in China.
Thanks.
QXC. This is Gwin for Quantic, signing out.